G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to talk about DreamHack making its return. You love DreamHack, I love DreamHack. It's gone away for a little while and it is officially finally back. It's a little bit different to how it used to be, so I want to cover exactly what the format is, how it's going to work, and just my genuine thoughts on it because they've changed things up a fair bit to how they used to run DreamHack. I also want to dive into a lot of these April Fool's impression farms, figure out whether they're real, whether they're fake. I'm sure you heard about it. Chapix and Janiss splitting up so two of them can go and play with Tayson. Is it real? Did we actually just see the EU FNCS winners split? A lot of people say yes, a lot of people say no. I want to cover everything. It wasn't just EU that was out to trick people today, or if it actually happened, we did have Stretch and Saf announce their new third in replacement of Zayt is going to be Avery, and that might sound insane. It sounded insane to me, but Zayt did just announce he's not going to be playing for 2 weeks. I don't know. We'll have to see. Again, I want to dive into it, give you guys the information, and let you decide for yourselves whether you think it was real or fake. And the last thing I want to talk about today is, should you still be running performance mode? Performance mode's seen some big changes recently. They took out the bubble builds, and since then it's kind of left everyone really confused. Is DX11 better? Is DX12 better? High meshes, low meshes, what is the best one to run? I've done some testing, I've asked quite a few people, and I'm going to see if I can help you pick out which is the best video settings. Just quickly before the video starts, guys, Cash Cups are back. The competitive season is officially underway. I'm going to be doing a bunch of viewing parties for all the Cash Cups, all the major tournaments. So if you haven't already, please check out my Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/Aussie Antics. I watch the games. I do bingo boards for gifted subs. We do predictions. It's a good old time. Swing by and say g'day. I'd really appreciate it. Let's kick it off by talking about what we know about DreamHack's new tournaments and something that I've been able to figure out on social media that looks really, really exciting for the future of DreamHack as well. So kicking it off, we have DreamHack announcing they're doing the Fortnite Cash Cup Extra presented by DreamHack. So I'll put the website and the link in the description down below. There's not too much info though. I'm going to cover all of it. They said going the extra mile, North America East and Europe will clash to determine which trio squad deserves extra bragging rights and the confidence to call themselves Cash Cup Extra champions, with 2 events in April. Now, so starting off, NA East and EU only. Last DreamHack had NA West. Looks like that's not in it for now. Wait, like I said, I've got some big news coming up. So they said how to qualify. Cash Cup Extra #1 running on April 7th. The top 132 teams from April 5th's Cash Cup. So if that confused you, it did me at first as well. So it looks like NA East and EU are going to be able to qualify into DreamHack by coming top 132 in the Cash Cups in Fortnite. So we have the Trio Cash Cup on April 7th. If you come top 132 on NA East or EU, you will then qualify for this Cash Cup Extra. As far as Cash Cup Extra #2, same thing. You have to come a top 132 teams in the April 12th Cash Cup to play on April 15th in the DreamHack Cash Extra. So it looks like it's a bonus to Cash Cup. It's its own tournament, but it doesn't have its own qualification like it used to, which is one of the main things people loved about DreamHack. It's a bit of extra cash, and it's kind of like a second Cash Cup for the top placing teams on NA East and EU. One thing it doesn't really say is, I don't know whether NA East and EU are versing each other, because it says we'll clash to determine which trio squad deserves extra bragging rights. I'm a bit confused by that. So is it EU versus NA? Is it top 132 on both? Is it top like, what's 132 divided by 2? Oh my gosh, YouTuber math, whatever that is, on each region. Like, that part I don't understand. And if you click the more about Cash Cup, it just takes you to Fortnite's actual like official rules for the Cash Cup. So it doesn't really tell you. I guess we'll have to get more information soon. But what they said is the top 132 teams from the week's Cash Cups are qualified to Cash Cup Extra. Each trio can play a maximum of 10 games during the 3-hour window. So it's just a Cash Cup. Now, this is the interesting part. Eliminations are worth 6 points. So I know what you're thinking. Oh, okay, cool. Well, DreamHack has always been really placement heavy. If eliminations are worth 6, the placement points will be insanely high. Not really. No, not at all. First place gets you 55 points. So if you wipe 3 trios, that's the same as a victory royale. That is really, really W key heavy. Like one of the most W key heavy tournament formats we've ever seen. And I get it, it's the top 132 teams. So kind of like Fortnite did this last season where opens and semi-final rounds had one scoring format, but the finals had a different scoring format. So eliminations are worth more. Because the idea being if you can kill people in a final setting that are top tier pros, it's harder, you should be rewarded more. I get that, but I've always loved DreamHack's really, really heavy placement format. And it looks like they've gone away from that a little bit. So I don't want to see a giant key fest. The money's looking pretty good as well. Again, it's like a cash cup. The prize distribution is going to be the same for each region. It looks like first is going to be 2,100, second 1,800, third 1,500, fourth 1,200, fifth 900, and then 6th to 10th gets 750, and 11th to 20th gets 600. So when it's trios, you know, top 20 trios, that's a decent prize pool. It really is, but it's sad to see that DreamHack's kind of gone for this format more than their usual. I mean, the old DreamHack format was amazing. Everybody loves it. There was qualifiers, anyone can play. You got to super stacked finals in the end. It was fantastic. I don't think anyone could find any complaints with DreamHack at all. I mean, the only one I ever had was the 15-minute break between games in the finals, but I'd happily take that to go back to the old format. However, that might not be too far away though. I really see this as a bit of a filler for DreamHack. I think they just wanted to get something going to kind of, you know, put something in the gap, because I think we're going to get a solid DreamHack or a solid something in the future. And DreamHack hasn't been too secret about this on Twitter. So someone responded, you had Mine Mantide responded saying RIP West, and DreamHack responded to them saying more info coming soon. Keep an eye on the website, and then the eyes emoji. So I think it's pretty clear from that, and I was already getting the feeling, I think DreamHack's going to come back in a much bigger capacity. This is just 2 cash cups to kind of fill the gap. So potentially in 3 to 4 weeks, we could see DreamHack coming back. I mean, at this point, I don't know. I don't want to see it be trios. I would love to see solos or duos. I know the pros don't like it in really like stacked solos, but having a once a month stacked solos so you can really still see who's the best of the best in solos, it lets people have a chance to prove themselves in a solos format, get up their PR, get up their earnings, get up their rep to then help them find a better trio. I love that. So I would love to see it be solos or duos. Duos is my favorite competitive game mode. It always has been. So I don't know. I just really hope DreamHack, if you're watching this, if you're listening, trust me, the community wants those stacked tournaments back. We love DreamHack. I really think the investment they've put into these tournaments has been so worth it for their branding. And I think they know that as well. Most people in Fortnite wouldn't have known who DreamHack was before the Fortnite tournaments because I don't follow the greater esport, but everyone knows what DreamHack is now after the tournaments in game. And I think DreamHack knows that too. So I'm very confident we're going to see some stacked tournaments coming back real soon. All right, let's dive into all this April Fools. Is it a joke? Is it not dilemma? Let's start off with EU. So we have Hen, Chapix, and Janiss announcing that they're going to be splitting up on Twitter. This was a bunch of drama. There was a whole bunch of accusations thrown around. There was a whole bunch of beef that started. And I think that's what made people think it was real. It wasn't just the fact that it was like, oh, LFT looking for trio. It kind of went a little bit deeper than that. So at this point, though, a lot of the tweets have been deleted. If I go back and look at tweets like from Janiss, he did end up tweeting later saying it was just pretty much all caps, ha 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 ha. So we'll see. He said doing a statement later so you know who the good guys are and don't just hear one perspective talking about us as always the whole time. And you see this a lot. You then see Chapix say, guys, I'm waiting 1 hour and 13 minutes, then I'm going to explain some stuff. They all keep kind of delaying this out and waiting until, you know, April Fools is over and then you'll know it's real. But then none of them said anything. No one ended up actually saying anything. So I do really think they managed to just bait everyone in the community. But if you didn't follow it, basically it was Hen, Chapix, and Janiss saying they're going to be splitting up. Specifically, it was Chapix and Janiss splitting with Hen to go play with Tayson. Now, it kind of makes somewhat sense on the surface. I mean, we have heard in the past that this team does have some kind of communication and they clash chemistry-wise. But at the same time, winning FNCS and then splitting, normally you'd say that's insane. But I had to make the joke myself on Twitter today that Centered Edgy Commandment might just be geniuses at this point for coming second, because I think in the major regions, we've seen more people split after winning an FNCS than stay together. Daymir and Reverse split. They came back together, which was awesome, but they originally split. We have Mongrel, Metro, Tayson, who also split. Like, it's happened all the time on the major regions with Trio FNCS, even if you go right back to Season X. But either way, getting to the bottom of it, Hen tweeted out a few things that seemed a lot more real. He tweeted out, I respect Chapix and Janice's decision to split. They did it in a bad way, but I'm sure they meant no disrespect. I wish them luck in next tournaments, and I'm sure they'll do insane in FNCS. He then replied saying, this was not an April Fool's joke from me. So I don't know at this point. I'm still really torn on this. Again, there was a whole bunch of kind of accusations thrown around. There was a bunch of stuff that went on in different streams, but I didn't want to go and clip that all and then throw that all into a huge video and then it just be like an April Fool's joke and we all look like idiots. So I'll let you judge whether you think the EU Trio FNCS team that won just happened to split up on April Fool's Day, or whether it was just them taking the whole community for a ride. But there was a lot of people that believe this. I'm still not entirely sure, and they had a lot of people going. You weren't the only ones that were having a bit of fun today. We also had Stretch tweet out that he was going to be dropping Lazy Lake in all future trio events with Saf and Avery. And like I said, I talked about it a few days ago, Zayt is going to be stepping away for the next 2 weeks from Fortnite. I do believe that to be real. I don't think that was an April Fool's joke or an impression farm. So Saf and Stretch needed to find a third, and Stretch has been playing with Avery a whole bunch. He tweeted out also responding to that saying, also, this is not an April Fool's joke. Illas tweeted out looking for trio as solo. Creo then tweeted out, just woke up, looks like I need a trio. If you're confused, it's because Creo, Illas, and Avery were a trio, so that's who Avery's left. We then had Creo also respond, not trolling, and showed a screen cap in the Discord of Avery saying, at here, I'm going to play with Saf and Stretch. We haven't been grinding, which kind of annoyed me. And also the same problems we faced together last season are going to... And then it kind of cut off there as well. But also to that tweet, Creo, Illis, and Avery haven't really been playing in the scrims. A lot of teams haven't though, so I wouldn't take that as guaranteed evidence. But for the most part, it looked kind of real. This confused a lot of people though, especially because Stretch and Avery... they had a lot of beef, and I'm not talking just your normal Fortnite, oh, haha, I don't like you. Like, Stretch would go out of his way to just wake up some days and tweet out, hey guys, just a reminder, Avery's terrible and no one likes him. And like, that was just the tweet. Like, I've really genuinely thought these guys didn't get along, but they've played in a few events recently. They've filled in scrims together recently, so I think maybe they've kind of, you know, made up their differences and got back together. I don't know. Again, I'm going to present the information to you. This kind of makes sense when you're looking from the outside in, but it happened on April Fools. Surely they could have just announced it tomorrow. I don't know. I still don't know what to believe. I genuinely hate April Fools. One of the main things that makes me start to think that a lot of these are fake, and especially this one with Avery, was because Paper and Jamper, especially Paper, kind of got really vocal on Twitter, throwing a whole bunch of shade at Jamper, being like, you know, Jamper complains so much about Avery behind his back. He's such a snake. He's two-faced. He left our friend group. I never liked this guy. Like, went fully in like crazy to the point where everyone was reading it like, what's going on? And then even since then as well, Paper's tweeted out being like, I love April Fools, and he deleted all the tweets. So at this point, it's really too hard to know exactly what's going on with all these teams. That one was very clearly fake, but again, I guess we'll find out tomorrow. I just don't know at this point. April Fools is over. Can someone please make a tweet or let me know what's happening, because it's too confusing. All right, now let's talk about what the best render settings are to have on Fortnite right now on PC. Because if you guys didn't know, performance mode recently went through a change, but this was not deliberate. In patch 16.10, Fortnite tweeted out on Fortnite status saying, we are investigating changes with the building textures when using performance mode on PC. We'll update you when we have more information. Since then, we've had no update. That's about 3 days ago now, so if you did run performance mode before with meshes on high, you would have instantly noticed. Meshes on high is where you got the bubble builds where the kind of stairs and everything looked a bit different. That's the performance mode most people have liked to run on, because you get the low input delay, the game runs better, you get decent frames, less drops, and yeah, the builds look a little bit off, but the game ran better so no one cared. But it wasn't all the way down to meshes on low, which was the mobile builds. You couldn't see through the walls properly. A lot of people didn't go for this, but now with this kind of I guess this bug to performance mode, some people love it, some people hate it. If you have meshes on high now, you don't get bubble builds, you don't get mobile builds, you get normal like DX11 looking builds, but the game feels like it runs better. It feels like it runs smoother. I've asked a bunch of people, I put out a tweet, I've reached out to pros, most people saying the same thing. This new performance mode, or the way it's turned into, it looks better. Most people want their game to look like this rather than the bubble builds, and it feels like it has less input delay than DX11, but it's leading to more crashes, and it isn't as good as the old bubble build. So I'm hoping they're going to bring back meshes on high. There are a few major issues right now. I was running performance mode and I was crashing literally every second game. I was able to fix it by verifying my game files. If you guys haven't done that, go to your Epic Games launcher, go to Fortnite, click on the 3 dots and do verify. It'll take like 30 seconds. This fixed most of my issues. As far as myself, again, I've got a really nice PC and I'm not the best player in the world, but for me right now, the performance mode feels good. It doesn't feel as good as before. When I went to DX11 and DX12, I definitely got way more input delay, but I got way less frame drops. And that's the issue right now. There's not really one good render setting that seems to be running everything well. If you want to have, you know, more consistent frames with less drops, you go DX11. But if you want to have less input delay, but you're going to get occasionally more frame drops, you go performance mode. But now there's this performance mode without the bubble builds. It's kind of hard to figure out exactly what to go. The main reason why I'm still on performance mode is because I like the way it makes Storm look. on performance mode, the Storm is pretty much completely invisible. It's why you see the memes of people running into Storm endgame. But as someone who mostly plays Arena, I don't play scrims or tournaments. I don't really care if I can't see Storm endgame. I just rather Storm fight people because I'm in OCE. That's where I spend half my game being able to see what's actually going on. So I've done a fair bit of testing and I can 100% conclude that you're going to get more frame drops on DX11, on performance mode in DX12. DX11 is by far the most stable for frames, but you are going to get more input delay on DX11 than you are on performance mode. If you really are struggling right now, try meshes on low. I know it looks like mobile builds, but that is honestly the best of both worlds right now for performance, but the game looks incredibly decent. So again, just want to make you know it's supposed to be getting fixed. Hopefully it is. If you go onto the Trello website right now, it is still under kind of observation. It is something they're still working on. Hopefully they're going to fix it, but right now you got two choices. Do you want less input delay? Play performance mode. Do you want more consistent frames? Play DX11. Do you want to crash more? Play DX12. Alright guys, that does it for another video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, check out my Twitch channel. I'm going to be live for all the tournaments and just playing Arena in between. If you like today's video, please chuck a like on it. Let me know in the comment section down below which render setting you're on, which one you think is the best right now, because it's always going to change for everybody's PC. So let people know in the comments so they can figure out based on your setup or their setup which might be best for them. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.